everybody, I am Zenith Rule, and welcome back to Zen Streams, where I stream one of the various different games in my collection. Today we are continuing with Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. However, we already completed the main campaign, which is Sora's campaign, but that is kind of the first half of it. After you complete the main campaign, you unlock Riku's campaign, which is Rebirth. It is much shorter, and it's much easier because the cards are selected for you. You don't have to worry about decks, you don't have to worry about grinding, and it's a much better storyline. So we're gonna start that today. We also unlocked a new theme for completing the game. However, I'm not going to equip it just yet since we haven't actually completed Rebirth yet. But that's our new PS4 theme. You get one for completing each game once, or watching the cutscenes of the movies. But without further ado, let us begin. Start playing. Yeah, I want to start playing. I want to load up my game. Now, there are certain things that can only be unlocked by completing Riku's campaign. You can only get certain cards on floors, I believe 11, 12, and 13 from completing Riku's campaign, and you can only unlock certain cards by completing the cutscene / game of 358 over 2 days, and 358. Like the way they do it, they present it like a movie, and it's all animated cutscenes, voice acted, pretty much in the same vein of Chain of Memories, where they actually turn it into fully voice acted cutscenes. The problem is there's a lot more gameplay in the game. There's a lot of stuff that happens. So for those sections, what they did was they decided to write up like little text blurbs that you have to read that explain what happened in that gameplay section. It's okay, but we'll get to the 358 over 2 days game in the future. For now, let us continue on. We're going to start a new game of Rebirth as Riku. And I'm going to play on Proud because this version of the game stacks the trophies. The PS3 version does not, which means you have to play the game 6 times to complete it. Yeah, I did that on the PS3 version. The PS3 version is way worse. Some of the trophies are changed for PS4 to accommodate for some of the better gameplay additions. They stack the trophies. They make certain things that a little bit easier on PS4. So if you're going to play this game, buy the PS4 version. It is much better.
Do you think they're ever going to do an Xbox One version?
I hope they do with the story thus far, because at this point, people starting Kingdom Hearts 3, I mean, you can find enjoyment. Like Martin said that he's certainly fine with just the gameplay bits and whatnot, but people are going to be lost if they don't play the previous games.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Stay asleep.
Who's there?
So Riku, after everything that happened before, he was wandering through the realm of darkness, and he suddenly finds himself floating in this chamber.
Where's the king?
And there's this voice that talks to him. Sounds a lot like Ansem. It will be explained near the end of the game, because I was kind of confused at first too, because we defeated Ansem, but this is basically the bridge from Kingdom Hearts 1 to 2, more so than the Sora's campaign. This explains a lot of stuff about Diz and Ansem, and a lot of the stuff in 2 doesn't come out of nowhere because it's explained in this campaign. So yeah, he decides, hey, I don't want to float in darkness anymore. So I'm going to enter Castle Oblivion. Now, he's in the basement of Castle Oblivion. You start at B13 and you work your way up, whereas Sora started at floor 1 and worked up to 13. So there's a lot of different areas to this castle, and there's a lot of places that we haven't actually, like, gone to yet.
So I have a question for you.
Yep.
Have you ever heard of Goop by Gwyneth Paltrow?
No.
First off, do you know who Gwyneth Paltrow is?
Yes.
Okay, just had to make sure. Some people don't. Gwyneth Paltrow, in addition to being an actress, has a line of new age medicine called Goop. And it is some of the craziest stuff ever, and not in a good way.
Is that the same sort of, like, put, like, eggs in your vagina type thing?
That was her.
Yeah, I heard about that. The
and
whole
Netflix,
crystal thing.
Yeah, Netflix is apparently giving her a Goop show.
What? What?
I know.
I don't... What?
In better news, the Katamari Damacy guy might be announcing a new game next month.
I'm looking forward to more Katamari Damacy because, let's be honest, Katamari Damacy is highly underrated, and there have been, I think, 4 or 5 games, and ever since PS2, it's gotten more and more obscure. So I'm just like...
we're getting the... Good news is we're getting that remake.
Mm-hmm.
Bad news is the same day as Smash.
Now, okay, so if you look on screen here with the save files, you have... you can tell which is which very easily. Obviously, they list the difficulty that you played the game on, which floor of the castle you're on, but if you look at my completed save file, which is save file 2, it has a gold card next to it. A gold card means that if you use that save file, you can start a new game or continue where you left off. And you continue where you left off, you have all the unlocks from that file. When I complete Riku's campaign, you're going to have the same gold card, and that's basically an unlock. You have to keep these 2 files active, and if you go back to them, having the save file of one will affect the other. So having a gold card in Riku's Proud mode will affect everything in Sora's campaign as well. And yeah, we finished that game in 26 hours on Sora's mode. Let's see how fast we can beat this game. And if you open up the menu, we can't review any decks. Riku's deck is automatically updated as the game goes on. And all he has, for the most part, are attack cards, but he uses them in a very interesting way, and we'll get to that. But you don't have to worry about your deck, you don't have to worry about anything except for map cards, but there's far less map cards in his playthrough. Let's see, you don't have to worry about leveling up as much, because... Well, you do have to grind a little bit to level up. The stuff that you can level up are so much easier. You automatically fill in the D report, which is honestly everything unlocks as you go. So you don't have to go out of your way to do anything in this campaign, and you automatically start with 6% of all the cards that Riku has at his disposal. So, like, you're gonna go through this really fast. And then different cards, characters, blah, blah, blah. Alright, so let us get started. Now, the cards that you select are very interesting for the worlds, because the worlds will give you a specific loadout of cards to choose from. Essentially, each world gives him a specific power level. but they're not in any particular order. So you can go to Wonderland later on in the game and have worse cards. It's automatically determined. It's a little bit weird, especially because you start off with Hollow Bastion and you have better cards there. So the difficulty curve is a little bit weird, but as long as you grind a little bit to get your health up, you're fine. It's the thing I find with Riku's campaign is it's easier in many aspects. It is one that you don't have to worry too much about. Hey, I don't have to worry about getting all these cards. I don't have to worry about all this extra bullcrap. But you also have to worry that the cards that you have are set for you. And so we start in Hollow Bastion because this was the world that he spent the most time in the previous games.
Yep.
Because it was his base of operations. The thing... What's that?
Well, the kill's coming to Switch.
Oh, nice. The things you remember from your time at Maleficent's castle became a card, and that card made this world. You've seen everything here before, haven't you? And a lot of this is a very introspective journey for Riku. It's about him learning to deal with the darkness in his heart. Because now that he's seen how he was being used by Ansem, he wants to reject it completely. And this is pretty much his entire campaign. But there's nobody in his memories because he closed off his heart to everybody in order to save Kairi in the last game, and he cast everyone away. So there's the only people that are in his memories are the only people in his memories are the villains, and so basically you go to each world, you fight the boss, and then you move on. Which, honestly, I feel like that's how they should have done Sora's campaign, because it makes things much faster. And to be honest, like, the villain is the only interesting part of each world here. And yeah, Maleficent got booted down from the big bad and Mickey Mouse to a minor villain here. And you can beat her pretty damn easy. Now, throughout the beginning of the campaign, there's this mysterious voice guiding you. You don't know what it is. It sounds pretty much like Ansem. I don't want to reveal too much yet, but we get a slight reveal at the end of this world, and then we get a big reveal at the end of the campaign. And it will be explained. Everything will be explained in due time, but just know for right now that it's not Ansem. And I'll say that right now, just to avoid confusion. It's not Ansem. Ansem's been killed in the last game. But Riku can reload cards as many times as he goddamn well pleases, which as fast as he wants. There's no card delay. There's no waiting for that. So it actually doesn't even matter how weak your cards are in some cases, because you can just keep reloading cards, and if you run out, you just reload immediately, and that's, I think, one of his best traits in this game, because it's much more fast-paced that way, and I feel like that's how they should have done Sora's campaign.
Yeah.
I really do wish that, because Sora's campaign is just so slow with its movesets, and half the time you're just like, oh wait, I need to wait a minute for my cards to reload. Why? I have my deck. My deck is right here. Now, Riku can level up 3 different attributes. He has darkness points, which will be explained later, because you can enter darkness mode. You know how the Riku 2 fight from Kingdom Hearts 1? You can do all the shit that he did there. See, you can boost darkness points. Darkness points make it easier to go into darkness mode. AP is attack points that boost your attack, and then there's HP. So you can pretty much play around with it as much as you like, and he gains levels really fast in this game. So for the most part, it's pretty easy to level him up. I try to keep him a little bit balanced in this game because I find because of the random cards, it can sometimes be easy to be overwhelmed by Heartless and whatnot. So I spend a little bit of time in the beginning stage grinding out these Heartless so I can have more HP and AP. That way I'm not being tossed around like a ragdoll, because in the next world his card values go down significantly, so enemies can break your cards. But you can also get this thing later on. It's called duel mode. Essentially, I think it's revealed in either the next world or the world after that. But duel mode, you know how in the Sora's campaign, basically you would have a card, and if the card value is higher, it would break your opponent's card, and vice versa. If your card value has the same as your opponent's in Riku's campaign, you enter duel mode, which essentially means that you'll have a certain amount of time to get 3 or more cards that are higher than your opponent's. If they're higher, then you do a massive super attack and it pretty much clears the room. So he gets pretty much straight out the gate really awesome abilities. And you can abuse that in darkness mode to hell and back, making this one of the easiest campaigns. Well, the easiest campaign, I should say, because there's only 2. And, yeah, aside from the randomized cards, everything about this scheme, I'm just you should have used this for Sora. But anyway, Riku is really, really quick on his feet. He has this kip up attack. You can flip around. He's far more maneuverable. He's faster than Sora is. He doesn't have glide though. Sora has him beat in that department. But I mean, he has a higher jump. He's kind of floaty in a way, and I feel that adds to his movement. In some ways, I consider this the easy mode of the game, which you have to you beat the game, and then you get easy mode. And his campaign is far better. His villains, on the other hand, I don't care about any of them. I like their boss battles, but Zexion and Lexius are some of the most boring-ass villains in this entire series, and they try to give them, a little bit of backstory. Lexius is supposed to be this noble hero character, and Zexion is supposed to be, a cloak schemer, manipulating things, but none of it really matters. I never really care about either of them, and until, Final Mix of Kingdom Hearts 2, they probably don't have much relevance. I haven't played Final Mix of 2, but you get to fight them all again, so there's some significance in that regard. The other good thing about leveling up Riku in this mode is Proud Mode is a great time to level up Riku, and if you can level him up early on, that's great, because there's a trophy for getting Sora and Riku to level 100, which we beat the game at level 65 with Sora, so you should know that that's a little bit much. We don't need that. But we're going to have to do that later. Like I said, this is just the story campaigns. We're just going to go through, complete the main story. Nothing too taxing. But, yeah, let's see. I'm going to keep raising Riku's health for this first little bit, because the more health, the better. The more that we can defend ourselves against some of these Heartless.
Yeah.
I always found that when it came to Sora, I went for the slights first, because the more slight you knew, the better chance you had at defeating monsters. But then HP and card points. And HP is a big help early on in the game, and then you focus on card points. Here, attack points are good. Attack points allow you to do more damage, but health just allows you to stay alive a little bit more. And darkness points don't get opened up until a little bit later on. So while I'm grinding here, I'm going to focus on HP, and AP only levels up like every 3 levels or so, or something like that. So we can focus on balancing things a little bit later.
Meanwhile, I'm playing Skyrim.
Skyrim, the game that has been remade and foretold for generations to come.
The game that I play when I have nothing else to play.
I have been playing a few different games. I beat Dad of Boy. I completely 100% completed it, and it is a fantastic game. Highly recommend it, especially the Valkyries, because like once you beat the main campaign, there's a lot of endgame stuff, like the collectibles and all the other stuff is fun, and I believe it's worth it. Then there's like challenge realms, which I didn't really like too much, like Niflheim and Muspelheim are the challenge realms. Niflheim is basically you have to grind for mist echoes, but your health like constantly drains. But as you get mist echoes, you get better gear, which allows you to withstand the mist. And the gear is really worth it, because they give you some really cool shit. But at the same time, it took me like 5-6 hours just to get a few of the things ground out. Like it's not necessarily bad per se. It feels very grind heavy. So unless you're like looking for the trophies, I don't think they're too worth it, aside from the really good gear. But Muspelheim is... have you played the trials in early God of War games, like God of War 1?
Nope.
In each God of War game, there was a hidden room or something after you beat the main game that would lead you to the trials, and they would be very specific tasks, like don't get hit and defeat a wave of enemies and stuff like that. And they were hard and challenging, but very rewarding, because they unlocked a lot of the game development stuff, which I'm kind of sad isn't in Data Boy, because God of War always offered behind the scenes stuff. They offered how the game was made, and I always loved God of War for this, because they gave you a lot of in-depth knowledge on how they specifically made and designed each level, what was going on in their minds when they were creating the game. I love those things, and in pretty much every God of War, except for Data Boy, they had it after you completed the trials, and I always thought those were worth it, especially they talked about levels that didn't make it into the first game, and they were actually kind of incorporated in the second game to an extent. So I loved that. The trials here are rewarding because they give you more stuff later on, but for the most part, in and of themselves, they're not too hard, and they're not super engaging. There was only one challenge that took me a little while to complete, and then the Valkyries themselves were worth it. There's 4 Valkyries in Midgard, which are super bosses that you can fight at the end of the game. and then there's 4 scattered across the other realms. And I thought they were interesting fights because each one is different. But then you fight the final super boss, which is basically the Queen of the Valkyries that has all the moves from every Valkyrie you've fought. And that is a challenge. That is a fight that it took everything, because you have to memorize every single attack pattern from every single Valkyrie you've defeated. And it's randomized, and you have to recognize what it's going to do. It is seriously a lot of fun and challenging, and it is worth going through the Niflheim grind to get the gear necessary to defeat those Valkyries. And there's a Valkyrie in Muspelheim and Niflheim, so it's worth it for that. I kind of wish they weren't challenge realms, though, because that would make it a little bit more fun to me. But overall, I liked Dad of Boy. I thought it was enjoyable, and I thought it had a lot more content than previous God of War games. Other than that, since I beat Dad of Boy, I went back to Marvel Spider-Man because they dropped a new DLC. It's okay. Like, here's the thing. I think the story in all of the Spider-Man DLCs are fine. They are just as good as the original, like, plotted story, and they do offer interesting character developments and twists. But I don't think they offer enough. And I've stated this before, but I don't feel they should have been split into 3 parts, especially because the villain of this game, this DLC, is just so bland. You fight against Hammerhead, who is another Mafia guy, which, I mean, if you've been playing the game for any capacity, like, all the villains, the side villains have been Mafia in some way, shape, or form. You have the Kingpin, who is running his own Mafia. You have the demons, which weren't exactly Mafia. They were trying to do something different, but they operated a little bit similarly. But then, like, in the DLC, you had the Maggia family, which is a Mafia crime family. And now you have Hammerhead and his thugs, which are also Mafia. And it feels generic to me. His whole thing is that he wants to bring things back to the good old days when the Mafia ran everything. So basically, he wants to make New York great again.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's. I thought he was charismatic, and I liked his voice actor, but I didn't care for the character. His thing is that he has a metal plate embedded in his skull, and he kills people with it. And honestly, this felt like a repeat of Tombstone, and Tombstone was a much more interesting character. So I kind of checked out for a little bit of this DLC. I thought it was okay gameplay-wise. They gave you some interesting things to do. It was a little bit unbalanced because some of the fights got very hard because they give you, like, so many different thugs, and there's new types of enemies that can hover and spew fire, and, like, when you have all of these different thug types together, it gets too hectic to the point where sometimes, like, you can get blindsided by so many different things. So I thought that there are parts where it were a little bit too difficult for my liking, and overall, I did not like the side activities. You have 5 more crimes in 5 districts. Well, actually 4, because you have Central Park, which doesn't have anything in it. So you have to stop random crimes, as usual. You have to do more Screwball challenges, and I hate Screwball. I think she's a horrible villain, and the fact that she keeps coming back. And I thought with this DLC, we might finally be able to put her behind bars. She gets away at the end. Like, I don't like this character. It's a parody of a streamer. She streams things. She streams Spider-Man defeating villains, but in order to do it, she kidnaps people, and like I don't get her deal. But she's annoying, and the challenges that she keeps having are not hard, but annoying. They give new stealth challenges, which it would be fine if they operated a bit more like Batman, because but here there are motion sensors, so you have to do everything really, really quick, but you can't have anyone see you, but then you can't get caught by the motion detect. It's far too complicated for its own good. It's not very good. And literally nobody likes the screwball challenges. When I was looking for strategies on how to defeat certain ones, there are threads, entire threads of people just saying the screwball challenges suck, but they brought them back for the second time in a row, and I hope they don't do it again. It wasn't hard to complete, but I just didn't like doing it. And then the third thing that you have to do around the city, let's see, screwball challenges, crimes. Oh yeah, you have hammerhead bases, which already there's so many hard enemies. They give you 6 waves of the hardest enemies in the game that keep getting harder and harder and harder. And I beat them. There's only 4 of these safe houses, but it feels cheap.
It's DLC.
It is standard DLC that's been ripped to hell. The final boss fight of the DLC is fun. I'll give it this. It ramps up to an exciting conclusion, and it gives some really good character development for Yuri Watanabe, the cop that you're with, which I'm not sure what's going to happen to her now because the development that they bring into the table. And that's what I wanted. But they... Alright, if you don't want spoilers, close your ears for a second.
I don't give a shit about spoilers.
They bring Hammerhead back.
Okay.
It ends with him getting shot in the head, and it looks like he dies, but after the credits, one of his men revives him, so Hammerhead's still going to be a villain in this game. And it's like, why would you kill him off if you're only going to bring him back? I don't get this. I don't know why they do it, but okay. So, yeah, it's like... It feels like a middle part to a DLC where they wanted to get him to a certain place, but still have like a third act conclusion, and it's not earned. Again, I like the ending fights. I like how they set up Hammerhead, and I like fighting against him. I thought it was interesting, but it doesn't mean it's earned. So, yeah, I completed that in 3 hours. And I spent the rest of the day playing Jackbox Party Pack 1, playing You Don't Know Jack, trying to get some of the trophies for that. Because, aside from one trophy that's going to take a little bit to get, the rest are very simple. So I'm going to work on that. But I have decided that because Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out very soon, I'm going to be playing Kingdom Hearts 2 in my free time next. So, yeah, Kingdom Hearts will be played. I just need to... that's not the right door. I just need to finish up some of this Jackbox stuff. But yeah, I'm going to be going... back to Kingdom Hearts. I don't know if I have enough time, but I'm going to sit down and try to get through at least Kingdom Hearts 2. Maybe.
By the way, you know who started playing Kingdom Hearts 1?
Who?
The Super Best Friends.
Nice.
Yep, Matt and Wooly are doing Final Mix.
Okay, so... Alright, I need to go back. Okay. So yeah, here's hoping I can at least get through Kingdom Hearts 2, and then get to hopefully I need at least Birth by Sleep, because Birth by Sleep has important story information that I need to know, because I don't know all of it. Dream Drop Distance is supposedly a mixed bag. Some people like it, some people hate it. I
You
don't...
haven't played it?
No, I know nothing after 2.
Yeah, it's fine.
So...
It's hard as shit, though.
Yeah, I heard the bosses are really, really hard and badly designed. Which is a shame, because normally, like, Kingdom Hearts 2 bosses were great. But, you know... They changed up the gameplay from what I hear in Birth by Sleep, and that altered a few things. So that it could be related to that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can't get Riku to like maybe level 10 here.
Yeah.
But he levels really quickly, so I don't think that's gonna be a problem. I'll have to check after this battle, because I don't know what level we've gained thus far. Oh, you want to know another annoying thing about Chain of Memories? The experience is the little, like, glowing jewels that pop out of enemies. If you don't grab them within a certain... They're gone. So that's experience you don't get.
That's really annoying.
Yeah. That's one thing I don't really like about this game. Like, I feel like the way they level up could have been good, but that adds more to the grind. We're level 8 now. So I think getting to level 10 would be fine. So... here's hoping. I mean, each world is pretty... Yeah, each world is pretty simple, easy to get through in this game. So I'm hoping to do maybe 3 worlds a session. I was only doing like 1 to 2 worlds in Sora's campaign, but that's just because you had to grind so damn much just to get through. Here, I just need to bulk up a little bit of my stats, but it's not a game changer. It's not like something where the leveling up pacing is not as good. It is better than Sora's campaign, but it's still a little bit weird. But it's still not something that I have to grind for days. And I already leveled up to level 9. Alright, I'm gonna boost my tech points. And most of these...
The whole world must learn of our peaceful ways. By force.
Thank you for the host, Rodolphus. How's it going? Did someone say grinding? That never happened in a Square game. Here's the thing. The grinding in this game is ridiculous. I don't feel like any of the Sora grinding was deserved. Riku's is pretty standard. That's the difference to me. Riku's grinding is something that is not intrusive to the plot overall. Alright, now, in Riku's worlds, there's a little bit difference with the type of doors that you find. In Sora's campaign, you would find doors that were locked by keys, and you need 3 keys. The like starter key for the little bit like beginning story bit. You would have the Heartless symbol, and then the final door with the boss. There's only 2 instances of that for Riku. the opening world and the closing world, if I remember correctly. Because for the most part, he just goes straight to the boss door. Aside from here, because this is something he's familiar with. The boss is something that's part of his heart. So, here, with this first instance, he recognizes the room. This is where he was staying with Maleficent.
Yep.
Everything is just how I remember it, even this room. It must be nice being back in your older bedroom. Think of all the memories. Sorry, but these memories I could do without. Maleficent gave me this room. So she did. And you lived here, tempted by the darkness she offered. You cast away your home, your friends, everything. But at least they gave you a nice room. And it's brief. It's short, but sweet, and I think it adds a lot more to just him in general as a character. You know, we get to see what he was doing outside of, you know, villain stuff.
Yep.
This game turns Riku into much more of a character, and explains certain developments in 2. Because you know how in 2 he showed up and he was wearing a blindfold and he looked like Ansem?
Yeah.
That's explained here.
Okay.
And, I mean, there's some people who are a little bit confused by some of it, because there's a little bit that I'll have to explain when we get to 2, but for the most part, it's straightforward. You can gather what actually happens. Now, a detriment for Riku's campaign, you do not have any healing cards, because the healing cards in Sora's campaign were his friends. You don't have any friend card yet. You will, but not right now, so the only way to heal is in the overworld. But it gets a lot easier in a little bit. Granted, he has a lot more at his disposal, so his defense is far higher than Sora's, so you don't have to worry about getting air juggled like a bitch. So it's a little bit of give and take. I feel I enjoy this a little bit more, if only because it gives more opportunities for you to utilize quick combos, and he has better platforming. There we go. Got some health. Ah, crap. But yeah, each campaign has its strengths and weaknesses. Together it makes a full game. And if they took a little bit from Sora's campaign and a lot from Riku's campaign and meshed it all together, you'd probably have one fine game. Just, you know, get rid of the cards.
Yep.
It's also easier for him to get behind these guard armors because he has a higher jump, so you can utilize that to your advantage. Sora, you couldn't do that, and that became a little bit awkward. Granted, it's a lot better in this version than the Game Boy Advance version, because getting behind enemies in that version, forget it. You wouldn't be able to do it as easy. Like, I believe the final boss in Riku's campaign is really hard in the Game Boy game, from what I can gather, because there's a lot of things that you can't dodge because you're on a single 2D plane, which is annoying. A lot of people really like the Game Boy version more, though, so I don't know. I wonder where everyone else is.
Yeah.
Usually we have a crew at about this time, but I guess they might still be finishing up other things today. I did, like, I'm not starting it earlier than I normally would, but then again, it is Thanksgiving weekend, and people might be out other places doing other things.
I think that's what it is. Like,
yeah.
Casey's working 9 hours today.
Oh boy.
She worked 13 yesterday.
I'm glad I don't have to worry about that. I had a nice vacation. Aside, like, Thanksgiving was all right. Like, my folks are great.
Aside.
What's that?
I said unpleasantness aside.
Yeah, unpleasant. Like, I like my family. I really do. I'm still having trouble figuring out how to tell them that I'm trans, so that's a little bit of a problem. But aside from that, things were fine. I had good food. It's just being misgendered all night, which not their fault because I haven't told them, but still, it can be a little bit annoying. I did get to see my other cat a lot this weekend, which was good. I really love Midnight. Midnight is he was a stray. He's a short, like a pygmy cat. He has very, very short legs, but he's very long. And he has the deepest meow that I have ever heard in a cat. It's so ridiculous, and I love him. I love him to pieces. Alright, level 10. Yeah, I made it to level 10. And I didn't know that. When you level up your HP, it fills in your HP for you in this campaign, so that's good. I don't have to worry too much about that then. I don't think they did that in Sora's campaign, if I remember correctly. Then again, it's been a couple weeks. I'll figure it out when we go back to the 100% of that campaign, but I don't want to have to worry about that for a little while, so... Because we have to go back, the hard part, we have to go back, do the mini games, we have to go back and find all the cards. Those are the two big moments. Other than that, though, there's not too many bad trophies in this game. If you're playing on PS4 and you don't have to play the game 6 times, it's really not too bad aside from grinding out all them cards. And the Bumble Buster trophies. I don't like the mini games in this game to begin with. But the Bumble Buster, you really have to know how to utilize your cards. And it's very much like, it took me several tries just to get it to where I could beat it. Every other minigame, well, the Veggie Panic minigame is a little bit problematic, but it takes a few tries. the Winnie the Pooh world is just like, I feel like if they're going to make a Winnie the Pooh world be minigames, they should at least be easy. Simply because it's supposed to be a break. That's our Pooh break for the evening. And
We're having some trouble with that in China.
oh yeah, I heard about that. Winnie the
Do you know
Pooh
why?
is censored because the president, quote-unquote president for life,
Yeah.
the dictator, is
whatever.
his nickname is Winnie the Pooh, and he does not want to be referred to as such. Which, whatever you want to call him, he's not a good person.
Yeah.
Veggie panic sounds like what people at a barbecue would experience. I mean, yeah, yeah, that does sound about right.
You don't win friends with salad. You don't win friends with salad.
Especially not with the recall.
Yeah.
My cousin had to reassure me like 3 times. Like, I didn't ask her to, but she reassured me like 3 times that the antipasto that we made at Thanksgiving did not have romaine lettuce.
Yeah.
Which I'm just like, I don't care. Like, 11 people got sick. That's not a massive outbreak. Veggie panic isn't too bad. It's just, it's one of those things you need to pay attention really carefully to everything, and Pooh gets in the way non-stop. You know, when he goes to the butterflies, and that can randomly hurt your game. So if you don't, like, get a lucky thing where the vegetables are right in front of him, and if you can't hit them in time because of Pooh just randomly getting up at the wrong time, you're in for a bad time. Like, it's a little bit of luck. Okay. On to this key.
God damn it.
Died?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The one thing I don't like about Bethesda games, and I get lost in Fallout and in Skyrim, the save points are like you manually save the game, and if someone kills you like 2 hours into a campaign, and it can happen, you just lose all of that.
That's why you save early and often.
I guess so, but I feel like in most like JRPGs they have better save schemes.
Well, it's a different kind of RPG, and damn it, I'm back in Riften. I really hope that dragon falls.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing but Heartless in this castle. Let's see. Voice. I know you're watching, so explain this. Where are the people from my memories? Do you want to see them? Of course I do. But you cast them aside. What? You dreamt of the outside world, and you passed through the door to darkness. Behind you, you left family, friends, home, everything, all in pursuit of darkness. In pursuit of bees. But I cast that aside too. And what do you have to show for it? First your home, then the dark. Your heart only knows how to cast away. It's empty, like that room. Like your memories, that's why you don't meet anyone. Your heart is hollow, except for the residual darkness. You're wrong. I rejected the darkness. Did you really now? Darkness, 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 darkness. and there we go. We completed the world already. We're at the boss room. And that's why I like Riku's campaign, because I remember the first session of Chain of Memories, it took us 2 to 3 hours to beat the first world. Here, we're doing it in under an hour, and this is one of the longer excursions because it has a lot of story content. Take that. I will defeat you, darkness, with my darkness. With Kingdom Darkness Hearts of... By the way, the first boss in this game is Maleficent Dragon. In Riku's campaign, the first boss is Maleficent Dragon. And she is easy as fuck. Like, even in Sora's campaign, you had to level up a bit for her. Riku, you're like, nah, bitch. I got this. I got this. Nah, it's all good. Goddamn. Dark balls. Those balls are too dark. Riku, don't stare directly at the dark balls. Alright, just gotta clear out these last few enemies. And then we should be good for the boss. Let's see. Status. 122 to the next level. That should be good. Probably gonna see if I can turn the other room into a save room so I can save before the boss. It's an easy boss, but you never know.
Yep.
I like to be prepared. Even though Lion King isn't in this game, I do enjoy being...
a new one.
Yeah, I heard that they were doing a live-action remake of Lion King that wasn't really live-action.
Oh god, that debate is so annoying.
I don't even really care.
Yeah, me neither. Casey's excited for it, though.
I'm excited. Like, I saw the look of that and Aladdin. I'm just like... I'm more into Mary Poppins Returns because I saw the trailer for that, and it looks really good.
Do you hear the funny thing about it?
No.
Julie Andrews, you know, Mary Poppins.
Oh, that, yeah. She turned it down, but now she's gonna be voicing a giant monster.
In the movie that's going against it at the box office.
The hills are alive with the sound of... the sound of monsters roaring. I think that's funny, but then again, like, Julie Andrews... She would have been... How many years has it been since the original? Like, I don't know if that would have been...
50?
Yeah, I don't know if it would have been a good thing to have a cameo from her, unless you really wanted to have, like...
They have Dick Van Dyke in it. And he's like 90.
True. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Alright, let's make my save room. The hills are alive with the sounds of screaming. Oh, it's been 54 years. Alright. Let's face the boss. Like a boss. First thing I do is talk to corporate like a boss. Alright, let us know, Rodolphus. Oh, hi, Maleficent. I knew you would return, Riku. Maleficent, you're alive? You haven't been paying attention. I am but a figment of your memory. Of all the people I could run into, it had to be you. But of course, after all, your heart is steeped in darkness. You can only see those who exist in that same darkness. No. Be grateful you have someone to keep you company. Your heart is empty. Were it not for the darkness it contains, you would be completely alone. That's sounding pretty good about now. Come now, you once turned to me to sate your hunger for darkness. You want me here. Who but I can grant you the darkness you so long for? There was a time I did want you around. I surrendered my heart to the dark. I surrendered my heart to the dark. But never again. You and your darkness have nothing to offer. All I did was lose myself. Empty myself. I'm finished with all that. If I'm stuck seeing people like you, people of the dark, I'll take you out one by one. Of all the castles in all the worlds, you had to appear in this one. Then you mustn't forget to destroy yourself last. For, like me, you are one of the dark. That's fine with me. I turned to darkness because my heart was weak. I hate that weakness. It's like I'm my own enemy. And seeing people like you embrace the darkness just makes it worse. Enough talk, Maleficent. So you hate the darkness enough to fight it? Oh, the agony you must feel. Then let me end your pain, Riku. End it forever.
This is really bad.
I don't think it's that bad.
No, it's funny. Not like, oh god, make it stop. It's just like, you serious?
I think it's interesting.
It's interesting. I'm not saying it's not interesting.
I think what they're going for is pretty interesting with Maleficent. Essentially, Riku casting aside everything. He cast aside his friends, his loved ones, to see other worlds. And then when he got there, he realized, oh, I didn't get what I didn't know what I was bargaining for.
Yeah.
So he's trying to make amends, and he hates himself for it. And this is a good representation of that.
Yeah.
The Maleficent is a little bit over the top, though. With the wondrous power of darkness. Wahahaha. And yep, Maleficent dragon fight. And you can break all of her cards. It is pretty damn easy.
I hate these goddamn mountains.
It could be worse. It could be valleys and hills.
I prefer valleys and hills, because valleys and hills I can jump over.
Just use Fusroda, that's all you gotta do.
I've been doing that.
Do you have any other shouts?
Yeah, I have a bunch.
Oh, there we go. Boss's weak card. I got a platform, yeah. Now I don't have to get hit by you. I can avoid the fire. Get back in the fiery water. Honestly, I think the best way to summarize Riku's campaign is every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in. And Maleficent Dragon is defeated.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And I leveled up again. Well, that's one darkness defeated. Now I have to defeat all the other darknesses.
How did I lose a dragon?
Well, they can fly.
Yeah.
I mean, they are fast. They know Kung Fu. Alright, that's one floor down. Let's move on to the next.
Why do you shun the darkness?
Come on, I know you heard me. Every word I said to Maleficent.
Darkness is your weapon. It is time you learned you must accept it.
What do you mean?
Stop resisting. Accept the darkness. You have no choice.
Oh, hi, Ansem. What are you doing here?
To serve me again.
I thought it was you.
But we defeated you, Ansem.
Oh, you don't seem surprised.
Yeah, I was very confused by the scene when I first got here. Because we killed Ansem.
You want to pull me back in, so you can play puppet master.
Clever boy. I knew you'd be the one to most appropriately serve me. And now, surrender to me again.
You're crazy! Not a chance! Ugh.
Now, this plot point is actually brought up in later games. So, I'll explain a little bit later, but yeah, this is part of another plot point that will be explored later on.
Excuse me for being weak.
You are weak. You need darkness. Surrender. Bow to darkness.
Although, I am sad because Billy Zane is no longer the voice of Ansem because of, you know, legal reasons. They dropped him because of other things, and now we have, I think it's Richard Epcar.
Oh, Joseph Joestar.
I believe so. Yeah, I'll have to look it up a little bit later.
Joseph.
No, I mean like if
If he's Ansem, oh.
Yeah, I believe he is, but I could be wrong. But it's a good replacement. But Billy Zane was so good.
I just want to hear him go, "Oh my god!"
Oh my god!
I got it.
And now we have Mickey as a friend card. Mickey is still in the realm of darkness and can't get to us, but he can send us healing light. So that's something.
Darkness that I command.
Just look for a mountain of gold, jewels, and treasures for dragons. You shall feel the darkness everywhere. No, wait. You shall feel the darkness everywhere. Yeah, that's better. Give me all you got. I'll give it right back. Because I'm emo. Alright, when Ansem shows his card, break it right away. Yeah, you get rapid break. So quickly break the opponent's attack for a boost in attack power. And this is part of the tutorial here. Not giving up yet. I wonder how much of this you can take. I'm just going along until you give up. Show the same valued card as opponents and press triangle. Yeah, so card duel. Break the opponent's cards in the time frame, and you win the duel, and you do these cool darkness moves. Duel system. Show the same valued card as the opponent's, press triangle to start. Break all the enemy's cards to execute a sleight. But you will need more than 8 cards.
Right.
What? That all you got?
It seems to me that you are intent on resisting the darkness. All right, then see it for yourself. This is a card crafted from your memory. Advance through the world it creates, and soon you will understand. Chasing after light is not the way. It will not give you distance from the darkness. There is no running from the darkness.
Don't worry, I'm not running. Give it. I'll enter the world, and in the end, if I haven't given in to the darkness, then I win.
I have one more gift for you.
And now, Ansem unlocks your darkness power.
What'd you do?
I simply tempered the darkness that yet remains in your heart.
You still think that I'd rely on darkness?
To use it or not is your choice. I'll be waiting, Riku.
So, this sets up the final confrontation of the game, which is you versus quote-unquote Ansem. It is essentially him saying, I want to be rid of all this darkness that's inside me. I want to make amends, but people keep saying that I have to use it, and there doesn't seem to be any running from it. So he says, if by the end of Castle Oblivion, I am able to fight and reject the darkness, then I will defeat you as well, sort of thing. I think it's interesting because he wasn't able to fight against Ansem before, as we saw in the last game, so he's effectively fighting back as hard as he can.
Yeah.
And here we have the worst organization members, Zexion and Lexaeus, and the punchable face Vexen.
It's such a shame.
And now they're just, they're standing in a dimly lit room arguing over rank.
Let it go, Vexen. Zexion, tell us.
And Zexion can tell that Riku has entered the castle, but it's by scent. I don't quite understand this, and Riku, tells it too. Apparently, once you're in the darkness, you can smell, different scents and tell who they are. I don't know.
But to a very convincing double. But I truly cannot say much.
I'm not entirely sure why that's a thing, but okay.
And who is it?
I do not know for sure.
And it says that scent was very similar to that of the Superior. At this point, we don't know who the Superior is, but they're referring to Xemnas, because because Ansem's scent is very similar. You know, there's a little bit of foreshadowing here and there, and they're not going to explain it outright, but essentially they sense that there's a bit of Ansem or something relating to Xemnas within Riku. And then Riku's immediately like, something smells funny. A familiar scent. It's a smell of darkness. I wasn't aware that darkness had a smell.
I can't believe this is happening.
The darkness even seeped into my skin. Like, it's interesting terminology. I feel like if they use something other than scent, that it might have came across better, because there is a sense of like him being invaded by like the dark powers being controlled and corrupted, but I feel like the terminology is a little bit off.
I can see right through you.
Funny, huh? I can only send a bit of my power to this.
And Mickey's gonna lend us a hand because right now he's still in the realm of darkness, and he can only send out some of his power, type of thing. I'm not sure that how that is story-wise, but essentially that's just so you can get healing inside the castle.
It won't be easy to do, I know. But please
That's
don't
far more
forget,
convoluted than just saying I can sense someone shrouded in darkness.
always a little bit
Like,
of
sense, if they just said like it's a sixth sense or like I detect,
you and I have
maybe, but they didn't establish that you could detect people with darkness in the previous game.
darkness. The
Or
light
how they
in
did.
your hearts. It will show you the way. Please don't give up. Believe in the light. That's a request from my heart.
Okay. I'll do my best.
Trust me. I'll try to find a way to reach you. I'll get there.
Traveling through darkness allows people to sense the disturbances, like a mental thing. If it was psychic, that would make a lot more sense, honestly. Like, the darkness awakens a sixth sense. That would make some perfect sense to me.
Remember?
Yeah.
We're connected, you and me.
Guess we are.
Then again, I'm not sure how literally this was translated, because for Chain of Memories, they... oh, we actually got a trophy. Nice. Confronting the Darkness. Yeah. Complete clear B12 floor. So yeah, we did that. We did a thing. But I mean, I feel like for this game they didn't translate it properly, especially because they didn't take the time to match the lip flaps, to change the lip flaps for the American dialogue. I honestly feel like the translation job here was passable. Voice actors are fine, but they really were literal in the translation sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. Here comes the real moment of truth. What world do we want to start in? We have choices. Traverse Town, Neverland, Monstro, and Agrabah.
Let's get Monstro out of the way.
Alrighty, we're gonna start with Monstro. Simply because Monstro is, in any game, it's the worst world.
Yeah.
This means at least that the cards that we have at our disposal are going to be better, a little bit better than they were before. And then once we get to Traverse Town, they're going to be worse. But, I mean, here we'll just do a little bit of grinding for health, and I think that'll help us.
Yeah.
So now we can upgrade our darkness points. And the more darkness points that we have, the easier it becomes to enter darkness mode. Because as you rapid break cards, you get D points, and you can quickly get into darkness mode. So if you raise your darkness points up a lot more, then you can stay in darkness mode a lot longer, and I believe you can get into it quicker, if I remember correctly. Obviously, we're not going to get into it in these early worlds because these enemies are pretty easy, but later on, Darkness Mode is a huge savior because your attacks like double. As well as having Sora start at the top of the castle and Riku at the lower basement as well. Yeah, like I like that they have separate paths, and this is like Riku climbing out of the darkness, and becoming better as a result. And there we go, Impulse, bam, and we get trophies for like doing a specific number of duels and stuff like that. And there we go. Here's Darkness Mode, and it is awesome. You basically become the dark mode from Riku 2, and you get all of his attacks, and they're so awesome. The more card duels that you win, like there are certain enemies that give you interesting attacks. Like you can do the super move where your Keyblade turns into a laser sword. It's awesome. That way they work their way down, up, meet in the entrance hall, and have Naminé appear to explain things, leading to Riku being forced to assist and putting Sora to sleep, with him saying something like, "See you when you wake up, buddy," and thus explaining why he went after Roxas. Like, there is a lot of really good development like that in this campaign, and especially with Riku, because Sora doesn't know what the hell is going on, because his memories are being tampered with. But yeah, like, I really like Riku's campaign, if only because it turns Riku into a character. To be honest, in earlier games, in Kingdom Hearts 1, he was just an emo git. He had good intentions, kind of, but a lot of it, in my opinion, was him just being greedy, and also, not only that, but he really, he didn't take time to even consider Sora's feelings, or that he was actually trying to save Kairi, or like, anything. He didn't even try. And it feels like, even though he was being manipulated by Maleficent, a lot of it was a little bit teenage angsty. In the first game, whereas here, he regrets his actions and he's trying to make amends and he's trying to be a better person. So like, it's a good redemption story. He's the one who starts saving the day. As the game goes on, I start liking him more than Sora, because Sora's naive. He accepts everything at face value, even when he probably shouldn't.
He's just kind of dumb.
Just a little bit. I mean, like, he's one of those characters that he just goes with everything. And there we go, Maelstrom, one of the coolest dark moves. Yeah, like, Sora, I feel, should have... he should have been retooled a little bit, just so that... I failed a duel. If you fail a duel, then you get... essentially what happens is, like, you can't move for, like, a couple seconds, and enemies can attack you. But yeah, I feel they should have made Sora a little bit less naive as time went on, but it doesn't feel like he grows... well, he doesn't grow in Chain of Memories. He grows a little bit in Kingdom Hearts 2, and you can tell that he's a little bit different of a person than 1. And I think that's fine. He's having more fun, but he still shows that he's not as naive. But then from what I understand, he gets worse as time goes on. So I don't know. That's a good one. We're going to have Sleeping Heartless. There we go. Now, the boss battles difficulty rates vary depending on like Sora and Riku. I found Monstrous Boss harder as Sora, but as Riku, it is 10 times easier because you can reload your cards at will. But then there's Agrabah, which is harder as Riku. So it scales a little bit depending on like levels and where you are. It's interesting that way, and I feel like Riku, as far as I know, doesn't face Jafar at any other point. So these are battles that like wouldn't have happened normally, and it's interesting to see how they would have played out had he fought them.
I gotta take the dog out. I'll be back in like 20, 30 minutes.
Okay. I'll just be here. Darkness, 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 darkness. God, of course it's a barrel spider. I hate barrel spiders. They explode upon contact. They're not fun to fight. Alright, let's see. Time to duel. Duel. Welcome to Kingdom Hearts Yu-Gi-Oh! Edition, except it's not as fun as Yu-Gi-Oh! And all these characters are just not as fun to fight. You gotta tap your mana and stuff. I don't know. I haven't played Magic the Gathering in so long. I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was younger, and it's a fun game, but cards, after a while, like trying to buy different packs, grew tedious and annoying. Much like grinding for this game, only you had to do it with your own personal money, so yeah, that was a thing. I think I might call the stream after I beat this boss of this world, which I don't... Hey, kitty. Hey, what's up? Can I help you? Can I help you? She's clawing at my leg. Alright, so we have the story door, and then we have the next door. So I'm gonna go to the right. I'll fight these two first. But yeah, after this boss, which shouldn't take me too long to beat, I think I'm gonna call it for the night, because I do have a couple other things that I want to do. And then we'll go from there. God, there's so many of them. Too many. This brochure said there'd only be a few of these Heartless, but there's tons of them. This is a horrible vacation. And there we go. And let's see. Take a look at my card collection here. We are already at 52% of Riku's cards. Think about that. We are halfway through Riku's cards. And we're only on the first real world of the game. Wow. We're only missing one card. Story. Yeah, there's not much here. Yeah, that's good enough for me. We didn't have the heart to tell you. I'm just gonna beat up these shadow demons with my giant keyblade. It's okay. It's all good, because I'm the protagonist. I'm the hero now. I call the shots. Alright, so that's the story door. And that's not going to be a very long story, but we're going to get it done. Well, we're going to beat up that giant heartless thing, the parasite cage. I never understood the parasite cage. Like, that's not a heartless, that's a disease. You're fighting a disease in a space whale. I don't know. Like, some of the heartless are weird. Duel. You have now entered duel mode. You can't dual wield, but that would be amazing if you could dual wield in this game. Nope, we'll save that for a later campaign. It's okay. Wait for Kingdom Hearts 2. Another duel. Ah, too slow. Okay. It's a reference to Final Fantasy IX. Oh, yeah. You know, I recently just bought... they had Final Fantasy IX on sale. I bought Final Fantasy VII and 9 and a few other things, and it came with the Final Fantasy IX theme for the PS4, and I really love this theme. Honestly, it's my favorite one because they play the opening theme song from 9 throughout the entire background. It's really cool. Okay, so yeah, we just fight the boss and move on. So let's go. If this is the case, then I might just go through the next world because the bosses are super easy. If that is the case. It's been a little bit since I've fought him. Yeah, he's already at half health. Jeez. Yeah, parasite cage. You thought you could defeat me. You thought you knew. You thought you were hot, but guess what? You're not. You're not hot stuff. I am the hot stuff. Alright, another duel. Okay. And dead already. See, the bosses in this game go down like tissue paper. And this is proud mode, by the way. This is the hardest difficulty of the game, and these things go down like wet tissue paper. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. Alright. So, yeah, I gotta go through one of these doors. And go from there. For the collectibles and data reward, do you need a guide to get them? You don't really. It would help, because some of them are a little bit out of the way. Like, a lot of them I got on my own. I think there was a couple that I just, I didn't realize you had to do a certain thing. There's only a couple I would use a guide for, because there are some that are hidden off on a side of the path that you might not see. So it might be a good job to get the collectibles. But a lot of them are, like, right in plain view. A lot of them are stuff like realm tears and stuff that are part of the normal gameplay, but you might not notice them until a second or third, like, run through of the area, when you have better, like, different abilities and powers and equipment. Although a lot of it is endgame. I wouldn't recommend, like, half the stuff until you have, like, all your abilities and stuff unlocked, because that will make the difference. With some things, because some of the like enemy encounters at that point, the enemies are so much higher than you, and you could probably do it if you really wanted to, but like, there's several levels higher, and that means you're going to be really hard pressed to stay alive. I'll just make a big room here. See if I can't grind out a few levels. Because I've already beaten the boss. I'm already, like, done with the level. So I might as well at least try to do something here. Man, Monster is gross. It's spewing, like, stomach acid everywhere.
Take this. Your Majesty. Time's up.
I gotta love that slight. Slights with Mickey don't cost you anything, and they clear the room. Darkness, imprisoning me, all I see. I am Riku, the Prince of Darkness. Prince of Valhalla. I am destined to destroy all my enemies using cards. Well, that was easy. Alright, just gotta make it through one more room and I should be where I need to go.
Your Majesty. Time's up.
save point, which I don't really need. Oh god, it's spewing acid.
Take this.
And I'm just plowing through these guys.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Yep.
You actually missed the boss of this world.
Makes sense.
We beat it pretty simply. So now I'm just getting to the exit of the world, and we can get on to the next one.
Yeah.
Which, like, these bosses, like I said, they go down like wet tissue paper. Which is a good thing and a bad thing. Like, it's a bad thing that, you know, they're not a challenge, but it's a good thing because, you know, I don't have to worry too much about it taking time to complete this campaign. Alright. Go through the door. I'm not sure, but I think there's a boss fight at the top of the stairs. Riku doesn't have that much boss fights. Half the time that he doesn't fight anything, he just moves on to the next floor.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. Alright, Monstro has been cleared. Going through the next door. Yeah, we don't have anything on this floor to fight. And now we have more cutscenes. Alright, so Zexion notices that it actually is Riku.
Riku, you say? Has he emerged from the realm of darkness?
His existence, it was once doubled in the darkness.
Fascinating. That's why you mistook him for the superior. The dark power given to Riku facilitated his escape from its realm.
What I want to know is why he appeared here in Castle Oblivion.
That's really quite simple.
And he appeared here because he's connected to Sora. His existence resonates with the hero, so his connection with Sora, because Sora's here, allowed him to arrive here as well.
To meddle with Sora's heart.
Without even bothering to consult us.
And this is right when Sora arrives at the castle. So this takes place right when Sora gets here.
Sora's is not such an interesting existence.
Of course, Vexen is more interested in Riku because he believes that darkness is stronger, which is, you know, evil schemes, blah blah blah. He's an evil scientist.
Yeah.
Alright, so we have cleared that floor. We are at B10, and now we have more choices. We have Agrabah, which is going to be a harder boss, Neverland, and Traverse Town. I mean, I'm more inclined to do Traverse Town simply because it's going to bring us worse cards, so we can get that out of the way now. But Yeah, I'm gonna do Traverse Town.
Mm-hmm.
The boss is easy as is, so. And now the Key of Beginnings are basically the boss door in every world, so we found the Key of Beginnings like pretty early on in the last one. Alright, duel. Yeah, we don't have any good duel cards here, which is why it's kind of pointless to duel anyone in this world, because you only have 3 cards that are effective. It's unfortunate, but, you know, we'll get through it. There we go. Just gonna beat up some of these common enemies and get to the boss door. My goal is to at least beat the boss of this world, and then I'll call it.
Yeah.
I don't want to duel you. This ain't Yu-Gi-Oh! I ain't gonna duel you. We're not using the heart of the cards. Oh, sorry, I'm getting a little bit tired on my end. Just wanna get through this quick. Gotta get my footage. Gotta beat this game. Alright, I'll raise your HP for that. Can only go to the right. And there's 3 rooms remaining until the boss room. These routes are so much shorter than Sora's. For whatever reason, I guess they didn't want the padding, which I'm happy with that. But there's only like 3 rooms as opposed to like in Sora's route where you would have like 10.
Take this. Like it. Take this. Your Majesty, come on.
Come on. There we go.
Like it.
Let's see. If we can get through this world today, that's 3 worlds down out of 13. And, so 13. I mean, it's like 4 sessions for the game. Not even, like, I feel like we can complete this pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Take this.
Okay, we got those guys out of the way.
Take this. Like it. Take this. Just me.
These duels in this area are a pain. I shouldn't even accept them, but sometimes they are useful, and sometimes you can get them done. But
Yeah.
I don't like Traverse Town and Riku's campaign. It would be one thing if, like, he actually had more meat to it. Like, if he actually had better balancing for his cards, but the fact that the cards are automated are kind of iffy. Okay, gotta make a save point room.
By the way, I'm also watching the new Hellsing Ultimate Abridged.
Nice. I haven't watched any of that. I know they're starting a new season of Final Fantasy Machine Abridged, which I need to watch.
Yep, came out yesterday. Here's the cool thing about about Hellsing Ultimate Abridged. The finale is episode 10, so you can get it done in about 3 hours.
Okay.
And the finale doesn't come out till Christmas, so you have plenty of time to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
Like it.
So let me see how long each episode is.
Like it.
Let's see. Episodes 1 to 3 are 41 minutes, because they combine those into one video. Episodes 4 and 5 are 34 minutes together. Then episode 6 is 16. Episode 7 is 15. And episodes 8 and 9 are both 21.
Okay.
So that's about 3-4 hours.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Alright, let's face
Machine Abridged, each one's like 10 minutes. So, again, shouldn't be that much.
I probably want to rewatch the old ones, though, because I don't know if I finished Season 2. I know I got far, but the thing is, the second disc of Final Fantasy VII is probably my least favorite. Because a lot of random stuff happens.
I never got past like the first 6 hours of Final Fantasy VII.
It's a fun game, but it definitely has there are certain things that I feel don't work about it. I love Final Fantasy IX so much more, and I feel like it's definitely the better game. But it's not the one that people remember, unfortunately. So it's like, you know, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, let's duel this some bitch. Oh, I don't have that card. Okay. Let's not do that. Nice, okay. And it doesn't drop HP balls. Good. Good. Ugh. Alright, there we go. See if I can end him with a few more attacks. Now he's down to just a hand, a torso, and a foot. Duels aren't working against this guy. Ow. I'll just have to settle for the old-fashioned approach.
Okay, that's a really good line. It's like, Sarah's go with mommy. Daddy's got work to do. Am I your child in this scenario? Sarah's, our relationship can best be described as tags on Pornhub. Now go.
Ah, nice. Just the torso remains. Ow. Come on. Just gotta get the torso. Oh, nice. Darkness mode. Darkness, 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 darkness. Come on. Just a little bit more. And yes. Took him down. Oh, hey, Philip, how's it going? We just technically beat the third floor.
Cool.
All right, later, Rodolphus. Alright, I'm gonna go back to the save point that I made and save the game and heal. And I think that's gonna be a good call. I mean, in 2 hours we beat 3 floors.
That's pretty good.
That for this game, yeah, that's insanely good. But that's because this is a short campaign.
Yeah. In that case, I'm gonna set stuff up in my room.
Yeah, I'm getting some prep work for the podcast. But this is going to be Where
Want someone to raid?
I don't know who's streaming.
Hope Within Chaos is streaming.
Okay.
It's just Hope.
I don't know if we have a lot of people, though. I mean, we could raid.
I get like 5.
Alright, so... let's see. Raid. And it's, Hope is his tag, you said?
It's just Hope, yeah.
Okay. Alright, before we start this raid, thank you guys for tuning in. I know it's Thanksgiving weekend, so some people are bound to be busy doing other stuff, but we got a lot done with Riku's campaign today. In 2 hours, we beat 3 of the 13 floors, so we only have 10 floors left. Going through it really quick, and we're going to keep going. Next time, I'm Zenith Rule. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, we're raiding Hope Within Chaos. The phrase for the raid is going to be tissue paper, because that's how the bosses fall in this game. So, alright, we're raiding.
Hey, this is Megami33. Thank you for watching Zenith Will Review. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more awesome videos. If you like what you see, check out the Patreon page at patreon.com/ZenithWillReview.